much of regulation, it felt like your team was on the cusp of pulling away. Then in the last few minutes, East Carolina gets ahead, and it looks pretty dire for you guys. Morgan throws in, can we call it a fluke? A deflected shot off the glass as the clock expires, and you win in overtime. How do you process and describe this win?
Wow, drained, drained. Quite the emotional victory. I thought our kids showed a lot of character, but you look at the game of runs there at the end. We dominated most of the game. Then we got a little sloppy. They go ahead by, I believe, 4 or 5 points in the last minute, and then all of a sudden, we hit some shots and we get some stops, and you just look at that last 15, 16, 17 seconds. Kenzie gets a great look from 3 to tie it up. You get a deflected rebound. Mo gets it and then just barely gets to the 3-point line, puts it up. I think for us, it's a huge emotional victory. You can play off your emotions a lot like that, and I think it's when our kids need it. It's a big victory. I think we showed a lot of character and keeping our poise at the end. You start off the game with a technical. I mean, you think about that. You're in the first couple minutes and you start off with the technical. To me, that tells you kind of how the game's going to go, and that's kind of ECU's game. They're physical. They try and intimidate you with their physical play. So, but I like the way our kids handled it until the end.
4 players, Alicia, including you, fouled out tonight. You and 3 East Carolina players.
Mm-hmm.
Was it rougher, more physical than most games, or was that just the way it looks on the stat sheet, like any other night?
I mean, I think the only reason I fouled out was because at the end of the fourth quarter, we needed to foul, we needed to make them shoot free throws, and fortunately that worked for us. They missed. So, I mean, it was a situation where I had to foul, and then it kind of came back to bite me in the overtime, but, I mean, we got the win, so. But, I mean, they're just a physical team. They're a bit dirty. They try and get you frustrated with how they play. So, yeah, there probably should have been more fouls called because, it's just the style of game that they play. And I think we did a good job of staying relatively composed for most of the game.
You came in here smiling, and when it's a rougher, more physical game, is it more enjoyable to win?
Yeah, definitely, especially when it's like that type of game. They were talking a bit of crap too. So it's always good to come in and, beat a team like that, especially, on a buzzer beater to make it go into overtime. It's good because we shouldn't have even let them have the lead. We should have won by the end of the game. It shouldn't have had to go into overtime, but, I guess it was meant to be.
When you get the ball with a few seconds left, down 3, what are you calling from the bench as far as the play to try to get the tying 3?
I'm not going to tell everybody who's watching this what we're calling. What we called worked. Let's put it that way. Kenzie got a good look. She got, really, to be honest, as good as a look as you can get, and it looked good. Her shot looked good. Our kids know what we're calling in that situation. I mean, that's something you prepare in practice. That's something you work on. Our kids know what they're executing, and they executed it well.
There are games that go into overtime in a more normal, I don't know if normal is the right word, fashion than tonight, than a dramatic last-second 3. What's your message to your team going into overtime?
Well, what I talked about is, hey, we got the momentum. When somebody hits a shot like that, it takes a lot out of you, especially when you think you've got the win. I thought we had the momentum. They had a lot of players in foul trouble. I said we want to be aggressive. They weren't playing a lot of players. Hey, let's still run the ball. Let's push the ball. They had a couple post players in foul trouble, so we tried to get it down low and let's try and make them play in our heels. We had to pick up our defense because we had a couple possessions where they ran the same play, and we got burned on a couple times. So we talked about that, but mostly we talked about the momentum. We talked about being aggressive and just not letting up.
When Alicia fouled out, do you have to change the way you coach more on the offensive end or defensive end?
Well, we were going into Alicia. I mean, we felt like the player that was guarding her, well, she was in foul trouble. We felt like she didn't want to foul, and so she gave her the lane a couple of times, and we were looking to go inside. And when a player like Alicia fouls out, it takes one of your offensive weapons out. And so maybe what you might call with Alicia in the game, you might call something different. I thought, I mean, it was a tough fifth foul to go out on. You know, it was a tough call.
What's it like, from your standpoint, watching your teammates finish out this game for you?
Very nerve-wracking. I should have been out there. I shouldn't have been in that position to put myself in the foul, but, I guess the ref calls what they think they see. I mean, I have faith in my teammates too, so even though I was on the bench, like, I knew that we could do it. It just, we had to put the pieces together, and, it worked. Like, we did it. So it's nerve-wracking, but it worked, so can't complain.
Alicia has a double-double. Stephanie has 14 and 7. Deja Thomas comes in with a couple big rebounds in overtime. Would you say this game was won from the inside out tonight?
I thought we did a great job in the paint. I mean, I really do. I thought, especially when they got in foul trouble, I thought we posted up, we sealed well, we got them deep, and we took them on the drive from the elbow. I thought Kenzie also hit a couple of big threes today. Great timing on a couple. There were a couple we needed. It's just kind of what the doctor ordered at that time. But I think the best. I thought you said it well. It was one from the inside out.
There was a story last year where you and your sister talked about adjusting to the way that officials call games here compared to the way they were called in Australia. Yep. Was this anything like what you were used to playing at home?
I mean, a little bit, but I mean, games similar everywhere. It's different. It just varies across the world. So I honestly like physical. I like when people start getting aggressive and they think that they're in my head, but it takes a lot to get in my head. So I was composed, I thought, the whole time, even if it might not seem that way, but I definitely was. And I think, we came out on top, so it just shows how well we did.
All right, you have a physical, emotional, a little bit longer game tonight. How do you regroup and get ready to go to New Orleans and play Tulane?
Well, the good thing is they have a well-earned day off tomorrow, so I'll tell you what, in this conference schedule, with the way our particular SMU schedule has fallen with us having our bye weeks at the beginning, it's been tough to find days off for these kids. It's really not a day off because they have to go to class. But it's a day off from practice. I think they probably need it. They probably need to go in the cold pool a little bit more than they need to be out here shooting. And, hey, you're coming off a game like that. You want to come to practice after a game like that. If you lose that game, it's a lot tougher to come to practice.
Sweet.